Hello everyone, Winter here. This is a bit of a sort of new thing for me as I don't do channel updates because with what I do, I really don't think that there's a lot to update people on. I mean, normally my series are all finished before you all even see the first episode of them, and by the time that particular series may be airing, I'm already working on, or at least halfway through, the next one. So I don't really see the need to do updates at this time. But I did want to take a couple of minutes, well, probably 10, maybe 15, I don't know, we'll see how much I ramble. But I just wanted to take some time here and kind of maybe explain what this channel is about and my thoughts on a few things. Because while I've mentioned it several times in a lot of various episodes from different series, not everyone watches everything, and that's fine. I get it. Let's be honest here. In the grand scheme of YouTube, I'm not a drop in the bucket, so to speak. I'm a raindrop in the ocean, you know. There are several people that do what I do, and there's quite a few that do it better and have done so for a long time and have a loyal following. And that's great. That's fine. That's fantastic. I'm not trying to go for a pity party or anything like that. I just wanted to kind of address a few things. So I've got some notes here. I don't know if you can hear the paper or not. But before we dig in, I do have to point out it is fairly early in the morning and I'm working on my second cup of coffee, so you may hear me yawning every now and again. This is kind of pre-planned, but it's off the cuff. But at this point, I wanted to do it, record this while I've got time and while some things are on my mind. So why am I here? Well, about 4 or 5 years ago, when I first discovered YouTube, I watched a few Let's Players that I was subscribed to. Bob the Pet Ferret, who's still around and makes awesome videos, and a great guy to work with. He'll actually speak with you, but we'll kind of touch on that subject later on. And X the Music, who unfortunately is no longer around, or at least is not using the same name as he was a few years ago, which is sad because he did a very, very awesome Let's Play of Tomb Raider Anniversary. It was fucking fantastic. One of the best ones I've ever seen. And it's no longer available. Damn shame. X, if you're still out there, by the way, hit me up, man. I'd love to catch up with what you've been doing. I actually had to get rid of my internet about 3.5 years ago because at the time I took a job that was an hour and a half away from where I lived. But it was one of those things where it was worth it because I learned so much from it. I would have been stupid to turn it down. The flip side of that is, though, that I was spending about $150 every week on gas. You know, so when you have that kind of bill, you have to make certain sacrifices. And for me, the internet was one of those sacrifices. So for the longest time, I was out of the loop as to what was going on online and with my selected few chosen YouTubers that I followed and whatnot. I've only just recently got back into the online thing. I could only just recently afford it. Plus, as I've said before in several other videos, the job was traveling. There was a lot of traveling involved in it. I spent about maybe a total of 2.5 years over the road. And when you travel doing what I did, which was I worked for an electrical contractor. What they did was you would work about 12, maybe 14 hours a day because they figure, well, you're away from home, you got no friends, you got nothing else to do, and this will keep you sober, so we're going to work you. So I didn't really have a lot of free time for the longest time. And this is something, you know, this channel is something that I've wanted to do ever since I first discovered YouTube and watched those Let's Players and really got inspired and influenced. I just never had time for it or the money to buy things like the capture card. The computer that I had at the time was inadequate for recording anything. And I'm not exactly rolling in the money now, but I'm in a better position financially to where I can afford a capture card. I can afford a decent computer, you know? So I'm finally able to do this, and I'm enjoying doing it. It's a lot of fun. Now, with that being said, some of the software that I use is absolute shit, because capture cards are pretty expensive, as well as a decent computer to record everything at a proper quality and shit like that. So I don't exactly have the best software for editing, and indeed, I'm using a totally different software to record these vocals that you're listening to now than I do the gameplay footage, which is why there's a little difference in quality there. So this kind of leads into the quality topic. And let's be honest, a lot of my older series are absolute shit quality, okay? The audio is all over the place, and when I first started doing this, I didn't have a dedicated recording space that was quiet enough to where I could talk to y'all and record some stuff without the fucking neighbor's dog being picked up by the microphone, you know? And I didn't really know what I was doing. I'm not a tech-savvy guy, which is why if you watch some of the older episodes, which I encourage you not to because they are shit, that's why it was presented as low-tech entertainment, because I'm a low-tech guy in a high-tech world. You know, I mean, I know absolutely fuck all about some of the stuff that is around nowadays, which is kind of ironic because I was an electrician for so long. But the bad thing is, when I rewatch some of the older stuff, I think I said a lot of good things in those episodes, which is the reason why most of them are still on my channel. Like the TR 2013 series that I did, I think I said a lot of good shit that no one else, that I've noticed anyways, has said about that game in a Let's Play format before. So, that's the reason why the very, very shitty quality stuff is still up. Now, at some point, I'm going to re-record some of those series just to kind of up the quality of them and make them better for y'all to see. And with regards to everybody watching everything, this kind of leads into two different things. Subscribing. Now, I'm a firm believer in that I do not have to tell people or ask people or beg people to like, share, and subscribe. I'm an adult, and I can only assume that a lot of people think the same way that I do, which is that if you like something, then you will give it a thumbs up. Or you'll leave some kind of, hey man, that was fucking awesome, feedback in the comments section. I don't think I need to tell people or ask people or beg anybody to do that. Now, I'm not against it. I'm not saying don't ever say anything, because I will absolutely read it and respond and all that good stuff. I have no problem with feedback. I encourage that, actually. I'm actually more interested in what everybody thinks and what they enjoyed about something than I am, how can I put this? I would much rather know what it is you enjoyed and what you didn't enjoy than just see a thumbs up. Now, thumbs up, you know, I mean, it's always cool when someone gives a video a thumbs up. But I'm very curious as to what people think, I suppose. I mean, I'm always like that. Even outside of YouTube, I'm into psychology and shit like that. I just dig finding out what people enjoy about something. I'm a very curious person about human beings, I suppose you could say. Well, actually, that sounds kind of serial killerish, doesn't it? Yeah, I don't know how else to put it. Subscribing. As of this recording, I've got 6 subscribers, which is fucking awesome. Now, one of them, I know, was a sub for sub thing that I was supposed to... Yeah, it was. I remember reading the message and, you know, she had already subscribed to me and said, hey, if you sub back, I'll like all your videos and shit like that. And I never subbed back because, frankly, when I watch YouTube, I only subscribe to people whose videos I enjoy more frequently than not. You know, I've got to be an actual fan of the person doing the work before I subscribe. And frankly, the sub for sub things, I mean, if I enjoy what you're doing, I'll do it. But for the most part, if a lot of your videos are crap, in my opinion, and stuff that I'm not interested in, I'm not going to do it. And I did message this particular person and say that, and I mean, I was nice about it. I didn't say, well, all your stuff is crap, but yeah, I never subbed back. Another subscriber is someone that I know in real life that I associate with outside of YouTube and have actually hung out with and shit like that, a friend of mine, which is awesome. I appreciate the moral support. And then another one is someone that I have gamed with online and spoken to on forums and places like that. And yeah, So I know most of my subscribers. Half of them I actually know, I would say. But it is always awesome when new people subscribe and think that there is stuff that is entertaining. I've tried to reach out to everybody. Some of y'all are fairly quiet, and that's fine. I understand and respect that. But yeah, I don't think. I was so stagnant at 5 subscribers there for a couple of months. I was actually kind of worried, like, well, shit, what if it never grows? And not that it's massively growing now, but 6 subscribers, I mean, for me, that's a fucking victory, I can only imagine how it felt for those guys that have over 1,000, I mean, that's got to be fucking amazing, especially when you reach like 500,000. Fuck. I can't imagine having to deal with that kind of shock. Not at this point. No, but it's awesome. I always enjoy when people find something that I do entertaining because I'm not making any money off of this. I'm here as a hobby. And it's a hobby at this point, not only because of the low subscriber rate, but if I did monetize my videos with the views that I get, fuck, I'd only make like maybe 10 cents a month off of them or something like that. That's not even worth filling out the tax paperwork for, you know? So I don't think I'm going to be monetizing any of my videos until maybe 1,000 subscribers, maybe 2,000. Fuck, I don't know. But you've got to have a lot of views and a lot of subscribers before you can actually see some money from monetizing. I did that when I first started because, I mean, who the fuck wouldn't want to do this for a full-time job? I mean, shit, I come from, like I said, electrical contractor. I've worked outside in the middle of the winter when it's been like -7. Because got to get this shit done, man. So, when you compare that to just sitting on my ass and playing video games and cracking jokes and spreading some knowledge about games and shit like that, well, yeah, who the fuck wouldn't want to do it? I would gladly take that over dealing with the shit that comes with being an electrician. Hands down. If it paid better, absolutely. I think that's just common sense right there. But at this point, it's just not a viable option for me. And that's fine. That's okay. I have fun with this channel, and that's why I keep doing it, despite the fact that I do have just 6 subscribers, and I only get maybe 20 views per video if I'm lucky. I'm enjoying this. I'm here for fun. Until it becomes a viable quote-unquote career option, I see no reason to monetize my shit and put ads that annoy the fuck out of everybody, because I get annoyed by them. And if I get annoyed by them, somebody else has got to get annoyed by them too. So, yeah. So there's a couple of other things knocked off the list. But I mean, shit, who wouldn't want to do it, As far as requests go, I'm always open for whatever you guys want to see, but I won't always do it. If you shoot me a line in a comment section like, hey man, I really enjoyed your Dead Space series, which is my best work as far as I'm concerned, by the way. When you going to do the second one, I'd really like to see that. I may stop what I'm doing now and start working on it. I may. I mean, if it's not fun for me, I'm not going to do it. If it's an absolute boring fucking game, no way. Not going to do it. Not worth it for me. But that's not to say that I won't consider requests. So if anybody has anything they want to see, by all means, go ahead. I won't always do it, but I'll pay attention to it and see what's being said, Like I said, I live for people's feedback. I'm very curious what people are entertained by, what they want to see, what they didn't like, and shit like that. And everybody's quiet, and that's fine. I get it. I really do. I'm not calling anybody out or saying, God damn it, talk to me. No, far from it. I understand totally. So going back to the monetization thing, real quick, if you've watched the Metal Gear Solid series, which as of this recording, I just uploaded the first episode, first published the first episode a couple days ago, you'll notice there was an ad on that, and that was not from me. That was Konami. The Metal Gear Solid series, I would say it's 50-50 right down the middle of that series that has ads on it from Konami, and 50% of them don't, which is very strange. I could dispute those if I wanted to, but frankly, since I am such a little channel, full disclosure, there's no fucking point in me doing it. The only ones that I have fought and won were bullshit ones, and I'll fight those, But I got one from Konami. I actually did have to take a video down, not because they pulled it, but because it was such a bullshit claim. I did a PlayStation 2 test video footage, test footage video. I'm sorry, like I said, it's early in the morning. But a few months ago, I had this video up, and it was just various moments from Silent Hill Shattered Memories spliced together, just so I could see how it looked when it was run through the editing software and published online and shit like that, because at the time I did not have an HD converter to run my PlayStation 2 through. It was just going straight to the capture card, which, being that it's not an HD console, it was not coming out in HD. So I wanted to see if the quality was doable and if it was usable, because I really wanted to do that game. So I published this video and I put it up, and there was a 12-second segment where at the beginning of the game you're asked to enter your name for the profile. So I spelled out Winter and put it in, and it took maybe 12 seconds, just kind of fiddling around with the controls and shit like that. And that 12 seconds got a copyright claim from Konami. So I just said, fuck all that shit, because while I can appreciate that they feel like they, probably rightfully so, are deserving of certain royalties from their work, I don't think me entering my name is something that you need to copyright claim. So I just took that motherfucker down. I didn't even deal with it. That was such a shock and surprise. And maybe it shouldn't have been. Maybe that's just kind of my own ignorance. But I just could not fucking believe that. And I just wasn't going to deal with that kind of stupid claim. So I just took the motherfucker down. And never heard anything about it again, which is fine. I'm a little channel. And with my subscriber count and my views, I could fucking disappear overnight and zero fucks would be given by anybody. I'm very much aware of this. That is always on my mind every time I upload a video. Sometimes I think you just got to be picky with your battles. You can't be a little 110-pound guy going in a wrestling ring and taking on Hulk Hogan and expect to win the World Heavyweight Championship. That's probably not going to fucking happen if things are as they should be in the real world. Yeah, you got to be picky with your battles. And in terms of uploading, I got to tell you, a few weeks ago, I think I started it with the Tomb Raider Legends series. I changed my schedule around from publishing a video every single day to doing it twice a week for a main series. Upload or publish one on Monday and then publish one on Thursday, because my shit's at least an hour long every time for some reason. And I figure that gives everybody a chance to get caught up and stay caught up on what they want to stay caught up on if they're digging a particular series. They've got 3 or 4 days in between each episode to kind of get themselves caught up. And maybe the subscriber count is because I do such long videos, but I don't really see how that could be an issue. Because myself, I've got no problem watching an hour-long video even if I don't have the time. Because if I'm into something enough and I like it, I can always watch 10 minutes one day and write down on a piece of paper or something like that the time that I'm at, stop watching it, and come back to it the next day and just skip right to where I left off and pick up and gradually over time watch the whole thing. Now, since I do that, I don't see why no one else does that. It's very well possible. I'm kind of toying around with a series right now where the episodes are quite a bit shorter. They're only about 30 minutes long. And it's probably going to be a while before that gets aired. But I don't know. The schedule and the video length. The video length doesn't bother me. I'm comfortable with doing hour-long videos. I actually prefer that. I would much rather do that than chop up a 20-hour game into 10-minute segments. That just takes forever and a fucking day to finish working on. And I just don't see the appeal of that. That doesn't interest me. That seems kind of counterproductive to me. Now, other people do it, and they're fine with it, and that's great. More power to them. I'm not going to knock that. For me, that's just something that doesn't work out. With regards to the uploading schedule, I think that may change, because the problem I have with my little ethic of having an entire series recorded, or at least 3/4 of the way fully recorded, before I actually start uploading it to YouTube, but not publishing it on that same day, is right now I'm sitting on 3 full series that are just waiting to be published. The fucking Metal Gear Solid 3 series, as soon as the Tomb Raider Legends series was wrapped up and recorded, I started working on it. And I've actually had every single episode of that series uploaded to YouTube and just sitting around waiting to be published for a fucking month and a half now. It seems like, they've been there for quite a while, and I'm getting to the point now where I like the schedule. I like the twice a week main series publications, but at the same time, it would be nice to actually stay somewhat current with them. That way, in the videos, I can talk about current events and not be talking about them 2.5 months after the fact. So I'm a little bit torn with that. And this is where your guys' feedback comes in. As I said, I'm interested in what people have to say. I'm always up for constructive criticism and anything in general, actually. Suggestions, ideas, whatever. Because I'm always thinking of stuff that I can do with this channel to make it interesting and entertaining for people. I've kind of branched out with the Checking Out series, which I really enjoy doing. And the review type things, I don't know if I'm going to do those anymore or not. First off, I'd much rather prefer talking about something longer than 15 minutes, and really going in depth on it and shit like that. And second off, there are people that do that short review format much better than I do. I mean, besides the professionals like your IGNs or your used-to-be game trailers or your fucking Game Informers or whatever, there are so many amateur, well, quote-unquote amateur reviewers, fan-made reviewers that can put out a 5-minute review and make it cohesive and make sense and shit like that, and they're great at it, and I watch some of those guys, and I enjoy what they do. They do it much better than me. I don't think I'd be bringing anything to the table if I carried that series on. But that being said, if I come across a game that I think is absolutely badass, like the Goosebumps point-and-click game, I may do something like that again, because I really enjoyed that game, and I thought it was worth talking about, because not a lot of people do. It's kind of overlooked, at least that's how it seems to me. The Layers of Fear review type thing, this is why it's called review type, because it's kind of sort of a review, but not really. That probably should have just been called Final Thoughts, because after I finished that game, and I think you can kind of hear it in my voice in that video, I had finished that game about an hour before I started recording that review type thing. And I hear the frustration and the disappointment in my voice whenever I watch that back, so... And it wasn't wrote out very good. It could have been a lot better. But those were the things that I wanted to talk about with that. Yeah, it was just kind of off the cuff and not very well put together, but I did say in the Checking Out episode that I would get back with everybody, so I felt like I needed to do something for it. I probably should have just waited more than an hour after finishing it and kind of wrote out a little blueprint for it before going into it, but, it is what it is. But I enjoy doing this channel, I really do, and I appreciate everybody that checks out a video. It really does mean a lot to me, because there's so many motherfuckers doing what I do. Some that are better, some that are worse. I don't check everybody out. I don't see what's going on in the field of Let's Plays or game reviews or anything like that. Well, reviews I kind of check out, but Let's Plays, I got one guy that I watch, and that's it. I've never seen a PewDiePie video. I've never seen a Markiplier video. I know who those people are, but I'm just not interested in watching those. Just like you guys enjoy what I do and other people don't, well, I'm the same way. I'm a human being. Sometimes I like something and sometimes I don't, and I'm a bit of a cynic as I get older. I find more things that I don't like than I actually like. I'm not sure why. Maybe I'm just getting burned out on video games because the medium is so fucking overwhelming at some points nowadays. A lot more so than in the early 90s when I started gaming. And with regards to other YouTubers, I think there's been a few episodes of particular series where I've said, hey, I'll put a link in the description with this or that. I don't do that unless I've got permission from the other YouTubers in whom I'm trying to point a direction to, so to speak. YouTube is such a crazy fucking place nowadays with this YouTube revolution that some people are speaking about, and it's hard to tell what's going to piss somebody off. And I'm a firm believer in showing respect and playing nice with others and shit like that. So I've reached out to several YouTubers several times and said, hey man, do you mind if I put a link to your video in the description of this? I explain who I am and what I'm doing and shit like that. And I would say I've probably done that with maybe 8 people. And out of those 8, only 2 have ever gotten back to me. Now, I think there's a couple of reasons for this. The first one is these are big channels. They've got over 500 subscribers. One of them had over 1 million. And I'm sure they get a lot of messages on here every single day. And on their Facebook page, which I've mailed to both places. And I never heard shit back from them. And that's fine. If they're distracted and they're busy, I get it. I understand. And sometimes it does seem like maybe I curse too much or something and people just don't want to be associated with that, or maybe my video quality is so shit that people just don't want anything to do with it. I don't know. I can only speculate on that part there. But the 2 people that have gotten back to me, you're fucking awesome. I see people throw around, oh, YouTube is a community and this and that, and well, unless you're a big channel, it seems to me like they just don't give a fuck. If you're a little dude with 6 subscribers like me, I don't think most people give a shit because you're no one. You've got no weight to throw around. You've got no pull behind you. I've seen that mentality before in other lines of work. That does exist. So when people throw around, oh, YouTube's a community that cares about each other and this and that and the other, it's kind of hard for me to take seriously. But then you've got those 2 people that have gotten back to me, and that's fucking awesome to see. I really do appreciate the people that have gotten back to me. It's so cool. It's refreshing, And I think it's a shame because, again, everybody wants to talk about this community and shit like that, but then they don't want to talk to each other. They don't want to help each other out. They just want to kind of, fuck you. You don't exist to me. So that's odd. But anyways, we're coming up on what, the 27-minute mark, 28-minute mark? This has gone on a little bit longer than I initially expected, so I'm going to go ahead and end this here. If you've actually watched this whole thing and listened to everything I've said, thank you. I know not everybody's got the time, so I really do appreciate it. And I don't know, if y'all are looking for updates or anything like that, let me know, man. Let's bullshit in the comments. I've done it with one guy. We had a 15 comment, both he and I, conversation on one of my videos, and it was fucking awesome. I enjoy talking to y'all. I enjoy feedback, like I said. So if you all want to see updates like this any more, I don't know, just let me know, I'm always checking out what people are saying. The 3 comments that I've had on some of my videos, I've read and responded to. I'm not unreachable by any means. So feel free. I encourage that. I would much rather talk to you all about what you want to see, what you don't see, what you like, what you don't like, than just have subscriptions and thumbs downs and thumbs ups and not know what the fuck it is that people are liking or don't like or why they're subscribing. Again, this is not my career. This is a hobby at this point, and I see no reason why that's going to change anytime soon. So I'm curious. Yeah, I'm a curious guy. But anyways, thank you all for watching and listening. I'll see you on the next episode of whatever video I've got lined up next. I forget at the moment. I would have to check. See you later.